It is great seeing you here again. My name is Luc de Koster, founder of the Koster Academy, and in this new video I'm going to show you an application of earned value management related to scheduling. What we're going to do, we're going to look at the planned value, the earned value, the schedule variance, the SPI, and the RTD or reviewed total duration. But before we continue, don't forget to click the subscribe button, click the bell button, and every time we have a new video, YouTube will inform you about it. So let's have a look at this exercise. What are the data related to our project? We have a project where we need to create 30 deliverables in 15 weeks. This means 2 deliverables per week, and the cost of each deliverable is $1,500. The next thing we know is that in week 8 we completed 12 deliverables. These data are sufficient to calculate different parameters already. Let's have a look at that. First of all, we can write the equation of the S-curve. In this case, it's quite simple because we have a linear relationship between the deliverables and the period. So what we can write is that the planned value as a function of time is 3000 times t is 1 period, and 3000 we have two deliverables per period. So per period we expect to create a value of 3000. This is valid between 0 and 15 periods. Once we come at the end of the project, we don't create any more deliverables, and we can say that from that moment on, the planned value is a constant which is equal to the budget at completion, which is $45,000. Another element we know, we are looking at week 8. So at week 8, we look at the formula. 3000 times 8 gives us a planned value of $24,000. It means we plan to make 16 deliverables at $1,500. So the planned value at week 8 is $24,000. From the other element, we know that in week 8 we completed 12 deliverables. So the earned value in week 8, t is equal to 8, is 1,500 multiplied with the number of variables that I created, which is equal to 18,000. Based on this, we can create a graph and we can calculate all the different parameters that are related to the schedule. So let's start with that. So we have the graph, the x-axis is the t-axis and the y-axis is the dollar axis. To simplify everything, I'm going to put there everything in thousands, so 24,000 becomes 24k and so on. So we have at week 15, we have the budget at completion, 45k, and we can draw the planned value curve, which is a straight line from 0 up to 45k at period 15, and from there on, it's a horizontal line, so this complies with the formula that we had before. Now, when we look at the remaining part here, we're going to consider the different parameters that are necessary. Week 8, we have the planned value in week 8, which is 24k. We have the earned value in week 8, which is equal to 18k. So basically, this is the graph how we can start. And the first parameter that I can find is the schedule variance, which is equal to the earned value minus the planned value. And it gives us, in this case, 18 minus 24 is minus 6k. The second parameter we can calculate is the SPI, which is the earned value divided by the planned value, is 3/4 or 0.75. which is smaller than 1, which corresponds with the fact that the schedule variance is negative and we are behind schedule. The next thing we do is we extrapolate the element of the earned value. We assume that we will be creating the value at the same rate till the project is finished. And the project is finished when all value has been created. And when all value has been created, it means that the earned value is equal to the budget at completion. Now here we have a small problem when we look at the schedule variance at the end of this project. We say that when we use the classical definition of schedule variance, we will see that at completion, the schedule variance is equal to 0, which would mean that we finish the project on time. but we see that we are late. But we come back to that later. Let's first have a look at how we get this time. Now, we want to know the revised total duration. So we take the original duration and we divide it by the SPI, which gives us an RTD revised total duration of 20 periods. So what we've seen based on the earned value and the planned value, the two elements that we have, we can determine that our project at this moment, with the information that we have, will be 5 periods late. But there is something else. Like I said, the schedule variance at project completion here would be equal to 0. And we can see it's not. We have a schedule variance of 5 periods. But since we define schedule variance as the earned value minus the planned value, we have a different outcome. What we defined before is the schedule variance based on earned time, earned schedule management. And now we are going to see when should we have obtained the earned value from period A. When should we have obtained 18K? And we go back to the planned value and we see that this should have been reached at period 6. Period 6, so we have 12 times 1,500, so that's 18K. What we should have here is, in fact, we should have created those deliverables, 18K of value of deliverables, we should have created them at period 6. And we can now define the time-based schedule variance, which is 6 minus 8, which is minus 2. Basically, we are 2 periods behind. And when we take this formula further into our calculations, we can define, or we can find that the final schedule variance at the end of the project would be equal to this 15K, to those 5 periods, difference of 20 and 15. So we're basically 5 periods late. Now let's have a look at an overview of the formulas. And when we look at the formulas, we have it a little bit different. We can define the different formulas here. So we say the schedule variance at period 8 is the earned value at 8 minus the planned value at 8. So we have 18 minus 24 is minus 6K. We can calculate again the formula of the SPI is the earned value divided by the planned value, both taken at period 8, which is 18 divided by 24, or 3/4, or 0.75, which is smaller than 1, which means that we are behind schedule. Another element is the RTD, the revised total duration at period 8. Per definition, it's the normal duration, 15 divided by the SPI. So when we divide 15 by 3/4, we find that this is equal to 20. And the last element, the schedule variance, time-based schedule variance, is in fact the time where we should have reached the planned value that we reached at period 8, the planned value equal to 18, minus the time that I'm considering, which is period 8, is 6 minus 8, so it's minus 2 periods or weeks. We can also have a look at this in a more mathematical approach. I remember I like math, so if you really like some equations, we can look at the equations quite easily, and we find the original graph, the graph that I had before, with the completion at period 15. At period 8, we have 24K planned. We plan to create deliverables with a value of 24K. We only created deliverables with a value of 18K. And we can expand this. We can say that we continue to create these deliverables at the same rate. And we can express the earned value as a function of time, which is a slope, m times t. And the slope, m, is the slope, which is in fact, when you look at the definition of the slope, is 18 divided by 8, which gives us, for the function at completion, that the earned value is equal to the budget at completion at or equal to 45. So we can say that 18 divided by 8 times t is 45. And when you do this calculation, so you multiply 45 with 8 and divide by 18, you find that the end time, the time where we have created all deliverables, we see that this is equal to 20. So that was it for this part, the exercise part of earned value management. Important to see this. We do the calculations now. One remark when we are looking at earned value management to calculate the revised total duration of the project. When we look at the practice and we try to find some links between the values that we find during the project and the end result, is that the conclusions are not so easy related to the earned value management and the total duration. The best way to look at what's happening with the project schedule-wise is to consider the elements, is to consider the Gantt chart. The Gantt chart gives you a better overview of the schedule progress of the project. Now that was it. Don't forget to click on the subscribe button, click on the bell button, and every time we have a new video, YouTube will inform you about it. Thank you very much, and bye-bye.